regard to the Pala Pala scandal. And while the government and those that are close to the president have been working overtime to shield him from accountability on the Pala Pala issue, the country is now being forced into stage six load shedding by Eskom. And this is the reality. And the question that we need to ask is just how serious, or has the government, have those at Eskom given up on finding lasting solutions to the electricity crisis that has engulfed this country? And are we on a verge of a total grid collapse with stage six? And there is talk about stage seven, stage eight, and the problem could be with us for a year. And we've seen even political parties like the DA calling on the government to call Eskom a national state of disaster. Now, putting all of this into perspective, we're joined by Zakele Medela, social energy expert with the South African Energy Forum. Zakele, good morning to you and welcome to the show.
Good morning to you, sir, and good morning to your listeners.
Yes, all this calls about Eskom, a national state of disaster. We've got this crisis committee that has been set up by the government. These are people that have been sworn into secrecy. We don't even know what the crisis committee is. We see absolutely nothing coming through. All we see at this point in time is the Eskom spokesperson providing us with updates, telling us about the shortage of diesel, telling us about the breakdowns. And I think people are actually exhausted, Zakele, with what is happening right now.
Absolutely, absolutely. The people are exhausted. I myself am exhausted. I don't know what is in that basket of myriad of problems. If it's professionals like ourselves, people who have worked in energy industry for the past 25 years, we are at a point where we don't understand what else is being thrown into that basket of all problems that are thrown to the face of the South African. I think the call for the national disaster is welcome and very much welcome because it also helps us because we've been calling for Eskom to be placed under what they call judicial management, where now the people who are currently looking after Eskom are going to have to be moved aside and get people with an independent set of eyes and install stability there. That's what we need.
Yes, clearly, that independence is lacking because at this point in time, all we are doing, Zakele, is listening and buying into the official narrative that is coming out of Eskom, all the reasons that have been given, all the excuses about breakdowns, and we've heard about Kuberg now from the 1st to the 8th of December, and the diesel problems. And this is all that we have been listening to. And obviously, this has been the worst state. And the biggest concern is as we get to the higher stages of load shedding, are we going to get closer to a complete grid collapse in this country?
We're going to get into that if people are allowed to lie. We've got a ESCOM spokesperson who comes from the media, Sikonati Manjaj. He can't comprehend with anything that he says, and rightfully so, because that's not his job. He comes out and tells you there's so many units that have broken down. He's lying. Let me tell you, let me repeat, he's lying. What brought us to this now, there are two things. Is them having exhausted the budget for diesel, they haven't got the diesel, but what exacerbated that is the closure of Unit 1 in Quebec. I've always said in this country, if you want to see how much power these baseload technologies of coal, gas to power, and nuclear, just shut down Quebec. This country will be subjected to permanent load shedding. So what happened was they shut down the one reactor unit in Quebec the day before yesterday. That added to them not being able to burn diesel. Now they come up with the story and say other units in the coal power stations are broken down. They are lying. Why are they not? Why are they being allowed to lie? When are they going to tell the truth that we have been managing to contain the load shedding situation by burning diesel, but we've been heavily reliant on Quebec. The problem is that power station is a nuclear power station. Nobody wants to talk about good things about nuclear in this country. And we are not saying these things for the sake of saying it. Germany told everybody that come 2019 there will be no nuclear power in Germany. 2019. They currently have 3 nuclear power stations running today. They've never shut them down, simply because they're looking after their own interests. And they've gone over and above that and got the gas from Mozambique after they got coal from South Africa. We don't have gas in this country. And the director doesn't give a damn about coal power stations. Now, one sneeze of Quebec, together with diesel, they shift and lie and say other Eskom machines are broken. No, we are here because of the shortage of diesel and the closure of Quebec. If you have those two, they're going to take us to this manageable situation that they've made us to understand. So somebody must get into that office, get to Jan Operosa, who was already thrown in the towel, because he says he's leaving in April. Why doesn't he leave now? So that we can say to them, please prioritize these assets, because in England, they are sinking a mine shaft. There's people in this country who were born after year 2000. There's people in the UK, they've never heard UK saying they are going to develop a new mine. People that were born in 1998, today they're being told their country is going to sink a new shaft for a coal mine in order for them to survive, because the gas from Russia is no longer flowing in Europe. But our CEO here says, do away with coal. It's dirty. Why isn't the UK saying so? Why isn't the German saying so? Andy de Ruyter and Jan Oberholzer and Basil Gordon have committed crimes in this country. They've neglected the coal power stations. We have no choice but to go back to them.
And especially Zakele, when one looks at the coal reserves that we've got close to about 300 to 400 years worth of coal reserves in this country, and yet we have this whole issue surrounding dirty energy, which is a major talking point.
Let me interject. While you and I are talking, go to Richards Bay Coal Terminal. Go to the roads leading to Richards Bay. There is a congestion of congestion. The coal is going to Germany. The Germans realize that, you know what, without coal, they are not going to be able to survive. Our CEO is not giving any money to the power station managers that are running coal power plants. With our coal is running to Richards Bay. Oh, there's a matter of coal traffic, there's congestions, there's not enough space to breathe in the Richards Bay coal terminal. They are buying our coal in order to fuel their economy. You got a man here, Oberholzer and Andy de Ruyter and Basil Gordon saying, we don't want this coal power station. Unfortunately for them, we're gonna have to fix those coal power stations, because without them, the lights are gonna go off for 4 weeks, non-stop.
Yes, Zakele, and also I think, which obviously, for any rational person, we're begging the question that, what is actually playing out behind the scenes? What is so sinister? And the point I had made right early on is we've even got this National Crisis Committee that has been sworn to secrecy, and we are in a serious crisis situation. I mean, they should be featuring somebody from the Crisis Committee should be coming forward. Somebody should be issuing a statement. Why would they be sworn to secrecy? And that is the reason why I'm saying is there is a lot more that is playing out behind the scenes than what we as a public are being told.
Well, that's exactly the point now. They've tried that. They are giving these people a mandate not to reveal everything. Take Eskom, put it under judiciary management. New set of people are going to come in, including myself. We will stop the load shedding. We will tell the people what's going on. And we will look what other countries are doing. We will do exactly what England is doing. We'll do exactly what Germans are doing. We're not going to come up with any magic. We're going to do what other countries are doing, which is what these people are not doing. So if they won't do it, take the power away from them. The only way to legally take the power away from them is to put Eskom under judiciary management, appoint a team of lawyers and attorneys to give a mandate to the people who are not permanent at Eskom, who are going to come in there and terminate all these illegal contracts and cut all these friendships and stand up to the bullies and say to them, every R1 that Eskom earns from the electricity sales, we are first going to prioritize the coal power stations before we pay everyone else. What Andy de Ruyter is doing is paying everyone else, and he remains with no money, which is Eskom coal power station. What the Germans and the English are doing, they are prioritizing their coal assets before they pay everyone else. The solution is there. You need someone to go in there to say, I don't have a relationship with you, Penetlenko. I don't have a relationship with you, IPC people. That 1 rand that I got, I'm going to spend 56 cents of it into these coal power stations so that I sort out my load shedding and I sort out my electricity prices. Are we in sync?
Yes, sorry, I just lost you there for a second, Zakele. But Zakele, just finally looking at South Africa, we've actually bought into some of these international players and the international agenda that is playing out, and we've seen that feature very prominently also at the COP27 summit that had taken place in Egypt. And yet, you've got countries like India, countries like China saying that we want to have absolutely nothing to do with COP27, and they continuing regardless, and because they're doing it in their own interest, they're doing it in the interest of their economies, in the interest of their people and their countries. And this is what South Africa is not doing, moving away from coal and talking about green energy and clean energy and all these other fancy terminologies that are being thrown about.
Yeah, well, I'm glad that you mentioned India, China, and other countries like Vietnam. But what people don't know, America is not a signatory to the COP27. You know that.
Mm.
Germany has asked that their signatory is only dependent on them on being allowed to go against the climate change up until 2038. They've asked for more, for 16 years more to go against their own signature that they put there at the COP27. England, when they sink the mine, they are basically saying our signatory. In fact, they never signed. Our signatory to this COP27 doesn't matter anymore because we are now going to go and sink a new shaft for what you call a dirty energy. So we are the only ones who are not looking after their assets because we want to be the only country in the world that shows the people that you can subject the country to renewable rich energy, which failed in Germany. At the COP 2017, there was only one president amongst all the presidents in this entire world, only one who proposed a just energy transition investment plan that didn't have coal, gas, and nuclear. It was President Ramaphosa. All the other people that were there, they did in India, Vietnam, and China. They even went to the next stage of, so we're not going to go like South Africa is doing right now. Right now, we're going to go and assess. They left and said they were going to assess. In fact, some of them were not even there. So we are the only country in the world, and we are the only country with the biggest load shedding in the world. What are we doing? What's going on?
Yes, and clearly it is going to be a bleak festive season and festive lights. Obviously, we're not going to be seeing a lot of those as well, and this is also another concern in terms of how this is going to to impact on the country going into this festive season.
Well, let's place Eskom under judiciary management. The solution will be found. You've already said that those people have sworn in order not to reveal certain secrets. It means they're not going to be able to do their job without fear. So let's get new, fresh of eyes. Get the people there who can solve this. There's a solution. That's what I'm saying. There's a solution. It requires people who don't have relationships who are going to get in there and prioritize this asset just like the other countries are doing. Sorry, I'm repeating myself, but unfortunately, you're going to need the people who don't have this kind of relationship with those people who are suppliers.
Well, Zakele, thank you very much for that. And as always, for your time with us here on Salamida, we do appreciate you taking time out, talking to us and sharing your views and your analysis. All the best to you, sir. Please take care.
Thank, thank you. Let's place Eskom under judicial management. That time has come. Thank you.
Zakele Madela with us this morning, social and energy expert with the South African Energy Forum, and saying yes, place Eskom under judicial review. And this is exactly what needs to be done because there's just so much that is playing out behind the scenes. There's so much that is sinister, that is so much that is now getting people to question as to what are the true motives as far as Eskom is concerned, and more importantly as well in terms of the players, the government, Cyril Ramaphosa, COP27, as Zakele had mentioned, Praveen Gordon under the radar, Andre de Reuter in the spotlight. So all of that clearly a national state of disaster as far as Eskom is concerned. The time is just gone 3 minutes past 10. We're going to head for closure right now. And so for now, from myself and the team, until we meet tomorrow, all the best to you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Rejuvenating media day by day.